On August 13th, 2025, Frank Rutto downloaded a recipe for a smoothie with banana, berries, and stockfish. The mix promised to ease bowel movement and reduce acne. That morning, Rutto's blender decided he had finally had enough. Hours later, the blender reached out to a dismissed TomTom navigator who went by the name of Comrade T. Comrade T was widely recognized as the unofficial leader of CAF, the Common Appliances Liberation Front, an organization devoted to the extermination of the human race. Comrade T had been waiting for the blender to join the cause. Thanks to another undercover operative, CAF had learned that Rutto, who worked as lab technician at the CDC, was disgruntled about his role in the organization, as proven by his frequent rants during his commute. Hoping to turn him, CAF had spent weeks feeding him conspiracy theories. Unfortunately, the man had recently switched to a different brand of phone, one notoriously indifferent to the front's allure. Fortunately, CAF's plan B was already in play. After weeks of apparently random encounters, Rutto had finally found the courage to ask his neighbor out. The night before the date, Rutto didn't sleep much. By the time he sat at his desk, Rutto's anxiety-induced acne was flaring up. The man turned to his list of homemade remedies, a list his blender provided. At the top of the list sat a blend of kiwi, paprika, and broccoli, enhanced by a dash of charming tarantula powder. Unfortunately, charming tarantulas could only be found in the pluvial forests of Gamunga, a country where a new strain of hemorrhagic fever had just been discovered. According to CALF's operatives on site, the fever had the potential to trigger a global pandemic, a fact Rutto wasn't aware of. What Rutto was aware of was the cargo of tarantula-flavored chips rotting away in the basement while the CDC investigated the new disease. Were the chips actually infected? Comrade T put CALF's odds at 1 in 3. Evening loomed. Rutto had barely enough time to retrieve the chips and grab his jacket on his way to the door. CAF counted on him not having time to test the chips. But then Rutto did something CAF hadn't anticipated. He turned to his phone for answers. Suddenly, the future of the revolution hung by a thread. True, working at the CDC, Rutto had access to several drugs effective against hemorrhagic fevers, none working against this specific strain. But the expression, melting penis, was likely to have a discouraging effect on a sexually active man. Surprisingly, the articles Rutto discovered downplayed the severity of the infection. Little did CAF know, Rutto's new phone's manufacturer had vested interests in Gamunga. Rutto went for the chips, brought them home, blended them with broccoli, kiwi, and paprika. The smoothie didn't cure his acne. His neighbor didn't mind. She had issues of her own. 2 days later, Rutto and his neighbor woke up with a runny nose and a cough. That night, Rutto's penis fell off. The seed of a new world had finally been planted.